Listen, if you're a if you're a business owner and you are not leveraging your social media in the way in which I'm about to explain to you in this video, you are leaving money on the table. All right. If you are a business owner and you're not leveraging your social media in the way I'm explaining this video, you're leaving money on the table. So last night I was at what's up everybody that's here? What's up, Ryan? I see you. Hello, 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 hello. Um Last night I was at a conference, right? Well, I was at the after party of the conference. So the Exponential Conference here in Orlando, it's a big like Christian leadership conference. Everybody from pastors to just kingdom organizers, mission people that do mission trips, just all kind of different uh, people and positions in the kingdom, right? But the whole essence of the conference, from what I understand, is to multiply exponentially in whatever capacity that you are operating in the kingdom. And so my one of my business partners in both my real estate endeavors as well as the cigar business that we own, he's also the CEO of a technology company that shout out to Intos, technology company. They do voice over IP and so on and so forth for businesses as well as churches. So he put on a cigar event to like have after the conference last night, which by the way had me out past my bedtime on a school night. Right, I woke up hurting today. So I go out and phenomenal people, all different walks of life. Right, various people, whether they be in the church or they in the marketplace, but they believers. And so we had a lot of good conversation, and the cigars didn't hurt. Right. But in that, I'm talking to a guy who's in the financial services business, and he was talking about relocating from like Virginia down to Florida, right, in like 30 days. So he's talking about his business and what he does and all the rest of it. And I'm like, I heard him say something that was crazy, right? So he asked me for my contact, which, by the way, if you ever catch me at a networking event, I almost hate to give out my phone number. Why? Because if we bump our phones, listen to me closely. If we bump our phones together and I don't know you other than the fact that we just said hello, and then your name gets saved in my phone with no other context other than the fact that we met, why would I ever think to call you? Why would I ever think to call you? I wouldn't even remember your name enough to think to call you. So it's the craziest thing for me to bump phones with somebody and we both save each other's contact. Why would I ever think to call you? The answer is I won't. But I guarantee you, if we follow each other on social media, particularly Instagram, YouTube, I love you. But if we followed each other on Instagram, where we can message one another frequently and comment on each other's thing when we see it here and there, we're probably going to organically more build a relationship that could lead to us getting on a phone call. But that was not the crowd last night. The crowd last night is mostly ultra conservative. The crowd last night think that the only way you do business is going to conferences. The crowd last night has no real digital footprint, like to the point where they thought I was off. When I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have no business cards. Y'all got Instagram, right? No, I kind of, I don't really do. Thought y'all was business people. I don't understand this. So this is where it gets funny. This is where it gets funny. Jack said, "Yeah, I wish YouTube would make it so people could message each other." Yeah, you and me both. You and me both. So this is where it gets tricky. So the guy that tells me he's in the financial advising space, financial services space, concern was when he moved to Florida, he gotta build his business up. In his words, this is the same guy that told me, "Nah, I'm not really on Instagram. What's your phone number?" I don't understand this. Why is it that you're in the financial services business, and when you leave Virginia, and move to Florida, you got to build your business back up? I don't understand that. Maybe y'all can help me understand that, right? And I'm being partially facetious, but it's just the stupidest thing to me that regardless of where you're located, why does your business has to suffer in result of that? Why? Here's the biggest problem with people. Here's the biggest problem with people. Ryan said my YouTube inbox will be full of before beta testing even started. Crazy. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. As business owners, we're oftentimes looking for people to sell our products and our services to, instead of making ourselves more findable for the people that already is interested in buying the thing that we're selling and serving. Let me say that one more time if y'all didn't catch it. As business owners, we suffer because we're looking for people to sell our products and services to, which is what he said. When I come to Florida, I got to look to build my business up in Florida. He's looking for people to sell his products and services to. When all we got to do is make ourselves more findable for the people that's already looking for our products and services. They just don't know we're the one that got it. So we should never have to go out and look to build our business up in another location. Is this making sense what I'm telling y'all right now? The only thing we got to do is make ourselves more findable, regardless of location, of those that's looking for our services. How do you do that? By leveraging your social media. By leveraging your social media. For every reason that he thought it was cool to say, I'm really not on. It's like, bro, you about to go out of business when you change states. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Why? Because we still, it was so alarming to me that in today's age, it's still so many people. By the way, can y'all like this if you're here? Like it, like, let's get some more people in the room, share it, all those good things. I appreciate y'all. It's amazing to me that in this day and age that people still view social media the wrong way, especially those from the conservative space, right? So this guy was a former pastor, plus he is a financial services guy, right? So both of those things can be looked at as conservative, although we were at our after party event smoking cigars and many others shared cocktails. I don't know how conservative it was, but nonetheless, I don't know why, but this one right here really bothers me. Like, it bothers me to see how people can be so oblivious in this thing called business and have resources at their fingertips that can fundamentally change everything in and about their business. And they don't use it. And it's free. So here's a guy trying to wrap his head around making a move to paradise and wondering where it's going to leave his business, when the only thing he should be thinking about is the places he want to go when he get here. Because I promise you, when I moved to Florida from Michigan, and I think he was moving from like Virginia or something. When I moved to Florida from Michigan 15 years ago, you know what I did? The first couple years that we were here felt like vacation. Although I still had a job and I would get up and go to work and all, it just still felt like vacation. Why? Because I wasn't thinking about how I was going to make money while I was here. I thought about how I could run my business remotely while I was here. And that's what I did. I had already been buying rental properties when I moved to Florida. I just had to figure out how to put the infrastructure in place to run a remote business. And this was before social media. Now, oh my God. Like, me and my wife talking about potentially moving and spending half the year in Europe at some point, right? Maybe in Athens. We love Greece. I ain't got to think about how I'm going to build my business in Greece. My business is going to run wherever it runs. Why? Because I put it on platforms. I make myself findable for the people that's already looking for what I provide, as opposed to me going to look for people to provide stuff to. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Like, this is crazy to me. And if anybody watching this video, live or the replay, and you aren't leveraging social media for the purposes of growing your business, my question to you is, how serious are you about growing your business? I have a hard time taking you serious if you're in business and you're not leveraging social media for the purposes of growing your business. If you're in the process, if you want to grow it. I know some people kind of stagnant. They're like, I don't want to get no bigger. Cool, right? But by the way, you don't stay the same size. You're either getting bigger or you're getting smaller, right? Like there is no such thing as living in neutral. Like, things are getting better, they're getting worse. That's just what it is, right? Jack said that would be awesome. It would. It would. But you got to have this type of mind, this kind of mindset to begin with, to even consider doing something like that. Like I just so okay. So let's do this, right? Because this is gonna be a short one today. I want to give you some practical, tangible steps, okay, and strategies on how you can demystify and oversimplify and just go out and start posting on platforms for your business. Okay. The first thing that you have to do is establish a consistent cadence. A consistent cadence. Why? Because all of us, like it or not, have become media companies, essentially. We're our own media companies. And to prove that theory, then why is it that people show up when I'm live at 2 p.m. on Thursday Eastern? Why is it that some show up for the daily financial news, right, that Zuber does at 7:38? Like, why does that happen? Because we're media companies. It's no different than how you would show up for your favorite show and watch it on television. You now watch that on a thing called content creators platforms. Well, I know a lot of the time we look at it from consumption, but we don't look at it from production. Just as much as you consume it, you should be producing it. Whatever it is, right? Whether it be for personal pleasure or specifically in this conversation for business. And so with that, there's certain elements that you need to have with this posting, starting with the consistency of when they can expect it. Why? Because just like your favorite show on Netflix, right, comes on every Friday at 8 p.m. Okay, my show is coming on. They anticipate it. They look forward to it. So you have to establish the expectation. Then you have to be very intentional about what should they expect to get from the interaction. So what's your big promise to them? What are you going to deliver to them? Right? Every Thursday live, we do Q&A. Y'all open to ask questions at any point in time. Y'all know that, but y'all also know that I always come with a prepared topic to help you grow in your business, in your spiritual life. And right, that's what we do. We believers in business. That's the expectation. Y'all know what y'all getting when y'all come here. Y'all also know the time that I'm doing this when y'all come here. And no different than even on our short form content. On Instagram, we post 6 days a week, right? We take a Sabbath as a company every single week. Why? Because that's the way that God established that we should work 6 days and rest on one. Just so happens Sunday is a practical day for us, but no matter what day you do it, that you just need to do it, right? You shouldn't just be working 365, 24/7. I know that's what society tell you, but way back in Genesis, that's not how God set this thing up, and it was for our protection. Okay. So we post 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 1 p.m. on Instagram, 6 days a week. TikTok, 6 days a week. Facebook, 6 days a week. YouTube, we post, we post Tuesdays, Saturdays, 2 podcasts we post on YouTube, and then Thursday we do YouTube Live. Every single week. Why? Because whether you knew that or not, those times, right, with the exception of this live, it becomes a rhythm and a pattern as to when you see my stuff show up. So whether I explicitly just told you that time or not, for those that follow my content enough, you kind of know like he about to drop something else. Even if you didn't even witness exactly what time it was, you just know based on the rhythm and the consistency of that. So the first thing is establishing that, right? The rhythm and the consistency of it. It's almost like if you don't do that, and then let's just say you come out and you drop some great content, right? You drop a post, it does extremely well. People want more. It's almost the equivalent of like a musician that come out with a hit record and then you never hear from them again. As opposed to the ones that's been putting in work 10, 20, 30 years consistently, and they still selling out arenas, maybe not as large ones, but my point is that's how you build a fan base, is by being consistent over time and setting the expectation over time. Okay. So that's the first thing, is establishing your cadence and your commitment to this process. that's not only good for the people that's consuming you, it's good for you as the producer so that you can hold yourself accountable to a certain cadence and rhythm and in production. Okay. Then coupled with that, and I know this is the part y'all been wondering about. So what do I post? Right. And depending on industry, it'll vary. But for the most part, you can follow this same strategy. Okay. For the most part. You want to post education or educational, motivational, inspirational, and lifestyle, right? Every single week. Every single week. What does that mean? That means that you want to post something that's motivational. So it can be a story about yourself, right? It can be a shared piece of content from somewhere else. Why? Because we're 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 stimulating human beings. So human beings want to be motivated, right? They want to be inspired. They want to be educated. Then they also want to feel a personal sense of connection with you. And so they want to know who you are a little bit, right? So you post a little bit of lifestyle. So you post something motivational. It could be a quote. It could be something that you found to be reaffirming for yourself, right? Inspirational, same thing. It could now that inspirational could also be lifestyle oriented. It could be you out doing something that's aspirational, right? It could be you out on the I like to go yachting. So it may be something with me out on the yacht. It may be me somewhere having a cigar in a nice environment. It could be me out having a nice meal, right? That's inspirational. While I could also choose words that are inspirational. Then educational. You want to be an authority in your space. Okay. This is extremely important. If you miss the other ones, you got to do this one. Whatever it is in your business that you claim to be the authority of, you got to be educational. You have to teach them things. What am I doing right now? I'm showing you as to why I coach business coaches, business coaches, consultants, and experts through what I'm teaching you right now. I'm validating myself by what I'm teaching you. Okay. So motivational, inspirational, educational, and then lifestyle, right? Just you, and this could, so the varying on platform, this could be just some behind the scenes stuff. It could just be a thought that you're having, right? One thing that I do just about every day is I share some type of passage of scripture, or I may share a devotion, right? Now, some may think be just posting a scripture, be just sharing a devotional. No, I'm actually sharing with you the thing that I'm reading in my quiet time with God. Other times I may expand on that thought in my stories, right? Stories will be on Instagram as an example. So I'm letting you in to understand who I am as the person. I may show you some of what I'm doing while I'm working out at the gym. May show you with me and my wife out doing XYZ, right? And then some of those things you could also post to your page. So Jack said, what about a lawn company making videos of mowing and the quality of the work we do? Jack, that's a phenomenal idea. Phenomenal idea. I think, see, we underestimate how much as human beings, we desire and we're inspired by creativity and art. Now I know when I say this, it may sound crazy, but when I mean, the landscaping people out here getting on my nerves right now with all that equipment, landscaping our community, right? Which our subdivision is probably about 5-6 miles all the way around, right? We got our own gas station in here, our own like restaurant. It's crazy. But I say that to say, you don't look at it this way, but like properly done landscaping is artwork. It's art. And so, which is why we're attracted to lush green grass when it's freshly cut. And right, like God's God's creation is art. We're drawn to that. We're drawn to that. That's why we like to travel. That's why we like to see the mountains. That's why we like to see the ocean. That's why we like to see uh landscape, right? And I think for landscaping businesses, they don't think that it's attractive to post that, but people appreciate like very well done. Um, I don't even know how you say that. Like very well cut grass. We appreciate very well cut grass, right? And obviously, we also appreciate when people can put designs in it and all of that, right? But I'm just saying, even just from in its most simplistic form, just to see grass that is very well cut, that's very well edged up. There's something about us that appreciate that. And I'm not even like a naturist or nothing, but the pristine look of it, we appreciate. And so 100%, Jack, not only should you do that, right? There's guys on social media that got landscaping companies that also, I know y'all see a lot of crazy stuff while y'all out there cutting, right? And depending on where you live at, you'll see more crazy, tidy and clean. There you go, Jack. Appreciate it. Like, see, that's that language of a landscaper, which is why you should put that kind of language on your page, because that's the kind of language is requisite of somebody in your industry. You see what I'm saying? So you start to train even your viewers. So if I was on Jack's page and he was using language like tidy and clean, then likely next time I address something regarding landscaping, I'm gonna use that language because I'm learning it from Jack because he's my authority in that space. You see how that worked? So, and I'm gonna tell you something else, right? So I see a lot of landscapers, not a lot, but the ones that I do see on social media do a really good job at letting us behind the scenes. If they're cutting and all of a sudden they see like a an animal that you don't see every day, right? Like a raccoon that's doing something, or again, depending on your context where you live at, that will vary for everybody, right? Or you may see a crazy snake. I'm in Florida, right? So you may see a gator, you may see a snake. Who knows what you may see while you cutting the grass, which is why I don't. Um, but letting people in on those videos and just posting that for the day. I'm telling you, the ability to go viral and get a lot of views back to your page. So this is the point that I'm making. The reason why it's so important to have the mixture of motivational, inspirational, educational is because as people, different types of content allow for people to share it for different reasons. So if you post something on your page that's motivational and somebody feels motivated, then they're likely to share that with somebody else. At the end of the day, the goal is to get more views back on your page. Why? So that then when you post your educational content, people were drawn to you from whatever you posted that was motivational or inspirational, but then they now see you as the authority and as education. What does that mean? That means that now you just potentially got a new lead. Is this making sense? I'm telling y'all how we have made millions of dollars online. I'm glad Jack asked about a landscaping company because this works for any business. Now think about doctors and their conservative nature. Think about how many videos you see now on a day-to-day basis with somebody like busting a pimple or pulling wax out of the ear or what's another one? I think those are probably the ones I see the most frequent, right? Or cleaning out pores. When did you ever see that? You didn't. But even doctors are getting in on it. Why? Because they understand that a personal brand is more important than anything else. If you want to have any kind of business, then a personal brand is the most important aspect of it. Because once you build a personal brand, it don't matter what the product or service is thereafter. You've established yourself as someone credible in whatever space and in the genre that you focused on at that point. Right. So that don't mean, by the way, that you get on there and just start confusing your audience because you're talking about so many different things. What it does mean though is if you can get on there and talk about one thing and one thing long enough to establish yourself as authority and credible in that, then that allows you at a later date to be able to then introduce new things. No different than how we were only real estate for 7 years and then we pivoted now into showing you into what we've been doing as far as online business coaching for all these last years as well. Why? Because I first built a brand based off of what I'd done in the real estate space, had a ton of results. There's social proof, all the rest of it, established myself as an authority as such. And now I pivoted over to a new industry. But people already know my credibility based on what I was able to accomplish in the previous set. So it's no different for you. You just got to get focused on one thing, hopefully your business, and promote that thing like nobody's business. I just thought of 3, 4, 5 ideas just about Jack's business being a landscaper. You could show the equipment that y'all use, right? Like people are intrigued by that stuff, believe it or not. If you got a funny crew and y'all always like joshing it up when y'all together, just put them on camera. Just film, have somebody filming y'all while y'all do y'all normal stuff. Cracking jokes, doing all kind of goofy stuff. They become characters on your show. Remember, I told you a media company. So what happens is when you got I wish I had people around me like I'm a loner, right? But I wish I had people around me every day and I could just have a camera follow us around. I promise you it would be hilarious. Why? Because like most of my conversations are hilarious. Believe it or not. Like, I just got a different kind of I got a different kind of humor, but like I'm constantly snapping all day. All day. I just don't happen to have anybody around me. But if I did, I would have people just film my regular conversations. Like I snap all day. So if you have that around you on your team of landscapers, then you should be putting that content out. And then you'll start to see how people in the comments like, hey, Joey didn't come to work today, right? Like they think they know Joey. So to simplify everything that I just told you, right? Outside of the strategy, outside of the cadence, outside of the consistency. All I'm telling you to do is whatever you already do, record yourself doing it. That's what I'm telling you to do. That's what I'm telling you to do. I'm not telling everybody they got to make talking head videos. I'm not telling everybody that they gotta do anything elaborate. All I'm telling you is that the thing that you're already doing in your thing called business, you just need to cut the camera on and record it. And then become habitual about putting it out on your platform and sharing it with others. So I want you to play a little game with yourself going forward. For every time that Jack said, I enjoyed the walkthrough that you used to do. Yeah, I appreciate that. I did too, right? They were fun. I mean, my contractors would be there sometime. We get talking crazy to each other. That's what I mean. I would do that every single month, going back, checking on my portfolio. So just call my videographer, come follow us around. We forget that the camera is even there most of the time, right? Because we're just doing what we would normally do. It just so happened that the camera is there. And so same will be true for y'all. Y'all got so much leverage around you if you would just cut the camera on. Just cut the camera on. Landscaper, cut the camera on. PBA bowler, cut the camera. Whatever it is that you do, like cut the camera on. I could think of any business that this is applicable to. Even if you're in a boring business like technology, I know some of y'all nerds like that's not boring. What is he talking about, right? But let's just say if that was boring business, cut the camera on. Show us behind the scenes how all of that stuff worked. Jack said blowing grass on each other. That's what I'm saying, Jack. All of that. People love to see that kind of stuff. See, what we never knew before is because, again, it was kind of monopolized that, I mean, even before streaming happened, there was like just regular television, right? And we all were forced to watch the same shows, right? If you didn't catch it then and it wasn't DVR, like you missed your show for that week, whatever. And so what happened is that disallowed us to really understand outside of our immediate environment how just how diverse, and also being diverse, but then segregated at the same time that society is. Because again, right, without being on social media right now at this very moment with Jack Stewart, I would never think about a landscaping company. Why? Because in my context, they I mean, I see him out there cutting the grass now, but I don't know the owner of that company. I would never talk to him, right? So Jack, because of our interaction on social media, just made it relevant about a landscaper company. And because now, me being a social media expert, I got enough wherewithal to know there's a community of people that would love to just consume Jack's content. Why? Because I see the content that's already being produced. Scripture tells us that nothing is new under the sun. I see that every day. But I'm going to tell you what is unique. You. What's unique is you. And that's the part that's missing. You could take the framework of you could take the inspiration, motivation, education, lifestyle framework that I gave you. You could even go and mimic that of how certain people are shooting their content in terms of the framing of it. But the thing that you will always be undefeated at is being you, because God only made one of you. And so as long as you're not showing up as a carbon copy of somebody else, you're going to always win at being you. So you need to take you, and you need to take these frameworks, and you need to do you. Because if you do that, there's going to be more people drawn to you, and you're going to do more business as a result of that. I'm telling you right now, because I know. Social media is the new business card. Social media is the new business card. Chuck, talk to me. Social media is the new business card. So watch this. Watch this. And I'll prove it to you. If somebody asks you about something, like let's just say somebody needed a reference or a referral. Let's call it a referral. Somebody asked you for a referral to some type of service or something, right? Or maybe even a product. Yeah, I've been needing this. My stomach been bothering me. I've been, looking for a probiotic or whatever. Actually, I don't even want to put it to a product. I want to put it to a service. I want to put it on a person. Okay. So let's say that you were looking for let's say you were looking for an online fitness coach. Maybe some of y'all looking for an online fitness coach. How would you go about sending someone a referral for an online business coach? I mean, online fitness coach. Option one, would you go and find a business card of an online fitness coach? Or option two, would you go find the social media of an online fitness coach and send that person the link to the person on social media? Y'all tell me, which one would you do? Would you go find a physical business card of an online fitness coach, or would you go and find a link to one of their videos and send it to whomever said that they were looking for that thing? 1000%. Liddell and I, during COVID, met online while I was doing Instagram lives every day. And since then, done millions of dollars in business. I'm just telling y'all what I know, not what I think. I'm telling you what I know. For every time you say, I want to make some more money, for every time you say, I want to make some more money, you need to ask yourself when the last time you posted. We got to stop having this conversation with ourselves. Oh, I want to grow the business. I want to make. Okay, how often are you posting? Now, for some of you, this is probably discouraging. For others of you, this is very encouraging. And hopefully, it should be more encouraging and less discouraging. Why? Because if you haven't been doing what I'm telling you to do, that means you got a huge area of opportunity to accelerate and grow your business. And all you got to do is just cut the camera on. Let people know you exist. We got to stop looking for more people to sell our stuff to and make ourselves more findable for the people that already want to buy what we're selling. They just don't know about us. And if you do that, your business will never be the same. I hope this was helpful. Send this to somebody, a fellow business owner, aspiring business owner. Comment, like, share, all those good things. We're just trying to get this out here in the algorithm, man. I show up for one reason only, and that's to serve and help y'all. And the only thing I ask in return is you help me push this message out so more people could see it. And on that note, I will see y'all good people in a pre-recorded on Saturday. And I'll see you live again next week. God bless y'all.